Hi, Dana. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Sure.
Well, I'm really excited. I know that you have season 2 coming up of Hand of God, and you play Crystal Harris, the wife of Pernell Harris, in the new season. Could you describe it to the new viewers?
Yeah, sure. The first season is available on Amazon Prime right now, so you can catch up. Basically, Ron Perlman plays this corrupt judge who thinks that God is speaking to him to avenge our son's death. And the whole first season, I'm thinking he's insane, but by the end, I'm complicit in his drama. And then the second season, which starts on March 10th, I am more involved. I'm separated from him because I have to deal with what I've done. And then I'm trying to avenge our son's death in my own way and find out who killed him.
Wow, that sounds pretty intense. There's definitely a lot going on as well with you and your husband in the show, and I know that he gets sent to jail.
Yes, he's up for murder. Hmm.
Right, and then there's this scene where you come and visit him. How would you say that your character Crystal feels about this whole situation?
Well, she's a little guilt-ridden herself, and he's still acting insane, so she's not happy about that.
Okay, right. Now, this situation with your son seems like a very pivotal part of the story, and how you're dealing with that as well. Now, there's also this scene that I have here, which I'm going to show everybody, where you're sort of unhappy and you're in this beautiful mansion, and someone shows up to see you, and they start talking about, I guess there's another woman or another wife that's involved. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's Ron's secretary, Randy, comes and asks me to go visit him in jail. And I'm like, well, why don't you ask his other wife? Because in season 2, he married his mistress without me knowing it. So, yes, he's a bigamist.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're dealing with the fact that he's married to you and someone else at the same time, and you're trying to help him while he's in jail.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she wants me to help him. I'm not sure I want to. You know, Judge Purnell is a complicated man. He thinks he can get away with everything, including murder.
Well, we'll see how he tries to get out of this one. I actually wanted to ask you what it's like working with Ron Perlman, and what was one of your favorite scenes so far on the show with him?
I love working with Ron Perlman. I tell him every time we do a scene that I love working with him. We got to do a great scene in our big palatial mansion where he comes in and it's on a stairwell. And I can't really tell you what happens, but it was so intimate and touching. And he's just a great actor to work with because he's so present. And you don't feel like you're acting when you're acting with Ron. You're just kind of talking. It's great.
Wow, that's wonderful. It must be so great. Both of you are such pros working together. Sounds like a lot of fun. I also wanted to mention to you the fact that you've been in so many different shows and played so many different characters. What is it that you really like about Crystal, about this character?
Well, I kind of think her name says it all. Crystal, I say that she's fake diamonds because even though she's a rich woman, she married into the money. And she actually comes from Stockton, California, from the wrong side of the tracks. And she kind of created who she is. That's not who she really is. So we get to see her go back to Stockton in season 2. And you meet her mom and her sister, and you kind of see where she came from. And I think it all kind of makes sense then.
Wow, right. So she's really presenting herself as this sort of a wealthy woman, but she's really not who she is at all.
No, it's not who she really is.
Well, that's obviously why you are so amazing. You can play these characters and create these worlds. And you've played so many amazing roles over the years, and you've been nominated, you've won awards, you've won Emmys. So, what I would love to ask you, which is something that I like to ask most of my guests, is what advice do you have for other people who are aspiring to become, an actress?
Well, first of all, I always tell people you have to really need to act because, it's not an easy career to do. You can't do it because you want money or fame because that's going to come and go. So you really have to have almost a calling that you need to do this, otherwise don't. And I think you just have to love it. I mean, I've been acting for almost 40 years and I still love it. Like, I love going to work every day. I still get challenged by it. I still get excited by it. And it's just the work. So I think you have to understand why you're doing it first.
Well, that's very good advice. Thank you so much for sharing. And, I have another question about the show. In the season 2, I know that there's more going on with Ron Perlman, with the character between Crystal and him. And I was hoping that you could give us a little bit of hints about that.
Well, I think we're trying to figure out whether we're going to stay married or not. And for Ron's character, Purnell, his whole mission season 2 is to try to get me back. But I'm not sure, as Crystal, that I want to go back to him. So that's going to be, throughout the whole season, whether we get back together or not. And then you'll see what the answer is if you watch the whole show.
Well, I can't blame you on that one, not wanting to get back together with him after all of that. But, well, I guess we're going to find out in the new season, like you said. And I know that, there's a possibility you might be even interacting with this other woman coming up. Is that something that we are going to be seeing?
Yeah, she's kind of his stalwart, loyal secretary who will lie for him and do whatever he needs. So there's that aspect of it. But mostly my stuff is with my sister, who's played by a wonderful actress. And I'm happy that people will meet her. She's really fun to work with.
Oh, okay, so that's really cool. We'll be looking forward to that in the new season. That's going to be, a lot more involved, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So also, what was it that made you want to be in Hand of God when you were first sent the script?
Well, I'd only been doing network television up until that point, and Amazon at that time was just starting to do, I think it was their second season of doing a whole slate of shows. So I was intrigued by that. I was intrigued that it was only 10 episodes, so you could do other things. Like right now I'm doing a play, and I couldn't have done that if I was on a network show where you do 23 episodes. So I like that, and I like the people, Ron Perlman and Mark Forster. I liked his movies. He directed the pilot. He's one of our producers. So I was just kind of intrigued by the whole streaming thing.
Wow, that sounds like a perfect situation for you, and definitely getting involved with streaming, I think, is the way to go, the way of the future, as they say. And Amazon Prime has a lot of great shows coming out, like Hand of God, so that's really cool that you are a part of it. I'd love to hear about this play, though. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yes, I'm in Boston right now, and I'm doing Tennessee Williams' The Night of the Iguana. And it's been a wonderful challenge for me. I'm working with James Earl Jones, Elizabeth Ashley, and Amanda Plummer, and they've all done Tennessee Williams before. They're kind of like experts at it. So this has been a great learning experience for me and a kick in the pants, and I'm having a ball.
That's awesome. So how can people see you in the play? Where should they go? When is it open?
We are at ART in Cambridge until March 18th.
Well, that's very cool that you're in this play, and also that you're starring in Hand of God. And I just want to say thank you so much for your advice for everyone and for speaking with me on the Red Booth Show. It's been great talking with you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to my interview with Dana Delany, who's starring in Hand of God on Amazon Prime.